Hi, guys.
Hello. Getting started in just a second.
The countdown's not working.
Why?
I don't know. Guys, we are just now learning how to do this together. All right. Just for editing purposes, bear with us. We're going to do the countdown, and then we'll get going.
Yep. So, hey, what a week.
What a fucking week. And it's your face. I see your face.
We're together. This is so much fun. And we're with doggos. We're having so much fun.
Yeah.
This has been a great week to be together. But before we get into any of that, welcome to the latest episode of Wicked Unscripted, where we have unscripted conversations about some of the most popular reality television shows on television. My name is Abigail Adams.
And I'm Sarah Tox.
We are back to discuss week 7 and bits of week 8 of Big Brother 26. We have a lot to talk about, but I think we should probably start with how incredible our meetup went on Thursday. That was so fun.
The most, and we couldn't have asked for, we'll get into it later, but like, what a great episode to have that night, and to have Kat and Brooklyn come out and all you guys come out. Like, it was an absolute dream. Guys, I legitimately was having nightmares and like tossing and turning, not being able to sleep about like no one showing up, and like Kat walks in and is like, it's me and Abigail in an empty bar, and we're just like, hey, like, and that was not the case at all. We had like an amazing turnout, and
a couple dozen people.
Yeah, like we had at least 40, and then there was overflow outside, and the diary room was a big hit. The pictures came out great, but overall, just the energy in the bar was so fun. And it's one thing to be screaming at your TV, and what an episode to scream!
Oh my God!
But to have a whole bar screaming at the top of their lungs, and the cheers and just the energy itself was amazing. So
yeah,
can't wait to get into it.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Before we get into that, we do want to recap a couple important things that happened in week 7. We already talked about Quinn winning HOH. We already talked about our thoughts on their choice of HOH competition, considering Cam is allergic to eggs. They didn't say anything about that on the episode. Shocker.
Yeah.
Absolute surprise to no one. But so Power of Veto was Leah, and we had we really liked this revamped version of the dark room competition.
Yes.
Where instead of having them go and do it timed, they were working
slime and sludge. Like, we didn't need all that. Just like to have to work in the dark. The house guests being able to watch it from the inside.
I loved that
was
part.
Great.
And it was all separate cameras. It wasn't like they just could only watch one person at a time.
Yes.
They had individual views of everybody. It was great.
They got a taste of what it looks like for us.
And honestly,
they should have thrown in a feed cut in there, and it would have been gold.
They totally should have cut, just had Ainsley
just
pop
gone to
up.
fish.
Ainsley gone up, or oh my God, have dun 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 dun, and they're just screaming, "What are you doing?"
But no, it was cool that they had to pop out of the dark room to like memorize the cleaning robot.
It was very interesting. Like 2 plungers, like a toilet brush.
I'm not gonna lie. I want to build one for up here. Like, I feel like this movie shrine needs like a Big Brother robot.
I also feel like if you could find the pieces to make it perfect, that would be.
I mean, we have toilet brushes and stuff, so like we can make it work.
Rubina came really close, from what we can tell, to winning that. She was
so close.
Really
another so close moment for her.
I mean, I think she's really proving at this point that she is more of a competition threat than people give her credit for sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to say that she's going to go in and automatically win, but she was this close with Mackenzie during the AI comp 2 weeks ago. The only
reason her legs were just a little bit longer.
I truly think that Mackenzie's long legs were part of that.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to see how she continues to move forward. She seems to be in a good position this week. Well, not the best, but in a position to not go home this week. So, I mean, I would love a Rubina HOH.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be a mess, and I don't know how it would go for her game, but I'd love it for her.
Yeah.
And also Tucker would lose his mind.
Yes, he would. It's been fun watching Tucker react to everything.
Yeah.
And how he reacted on Thursday night. I saw that video. Once the hangover the hungover. The hangover went away. I promise. There's no hungover right now. But yeah, so like it led for an exciting like move into Thursday night. That build up in Rubina's story. So
yeah,
I'm excited.
We also have a comment on here. We will totally be doing a Survivor 47 assessment, a cast assessment very soon. We're just in the middle of lots of Big Brother coverage. There's so much. I mean, the Survivor 47 cast and Dancing with the Stars cast dropped on the exact same day. So that was mayhem.
Yeah.
We won't go into that.
And the day Abigail was here, like traveling here. So like, and we've been nonstop. Like today was probably the first chill day. Today is the first chill day. And it's not even a chill day because we woke up, we had breakfast, we're recording. Then we're going to have an early dinner because then we have a photo shoot later to get some branding shots. And then, you know, you guys head home tomorrow. So,
yep. And we have Big Brother tonight. We're going to be
we'll be live for tonight. So yeah, but we will get to Survivor. I promise once things settle down this week.
Oh, and we're very excited. I mean, we got John Lovett on there. That's going to be,
I mean, Team Aisha. So,
well, that's what I was going to say. Like, it's like, we got some really fun names. We got 2 people out of Boston, so I'm going to stay.
Yeah.
It's going to be a really great opportunity to talk about it. We'll unfortunately not be able to do it in person, but
yeah.
I'm excited.
But we will get to it. Yes.
Absolutely. So, Power of Veto, back to Power of Veto. It was used by Leah. And I really enjoyed that they showed the insight into her relationship with Angela. Because even sometimes I don't know how much it's understood on the feeds.
No. I mean, even, like you said, even on the feeds, it's hard to understand at times. But they did a great job during the episode of showing those clips and showing that connection in those diary rooms about how they feel about each other. Was using the veto, though, on Angela what the best move for Leah's game?
No, but like I understand why she did it, because she feels like a lot of people are kind of in each other's ears about like, this is how we have to do it as a group. This is what we want to do. And she was ready to just be like, I'm independent. I want to make my own move for myself. And I appreciate it. But I just, with you, I'm not sure if it was the right move, but what I appreciate is that she took off somebody that she felt she was aligned with and wanted to save. There's definitely more layers that she could have thought about, but I do at least appreciate that she's thinking about that.
Well, the thing is, too, is that she can get away with it because she's not going to piss off Quinn.
Nope.
She mildly annoyed him, but again, the Leah missed on the boys in the house. Like, it's
crazy.
I felt her in that moment. Like, what's he going to do about it? Like, what's he going to do about it?
Exactly. Well, what he did was probably make one of the worst renom options for his game that he could have made.
Oh, I wildly disagree. So I'm excited to talk about it.
I mean, I think it's good that Joseph's gone for him. I do think Joseph was a detriment, but it's I don't know if he can pick up the pieces left behind when it comes to that. Like, I feel like he's now like super glomming onto Leah.
So what's wild here is that Quinn didn't want to put up Joseph. He felt like he had to put up Joseph. He did not want Joseph going home. He was really close with Joseph and felt very good with Joseph. However, all of that was a misread.
Yeah. Because
Joseph needed to get out of the house pre-jury for Quinn to have really any shot of winning. Because having Joseph be potentially first juror into the house would have been the absolute worst thing for Quinn's game.
I will absolutely
agree and Joseph, what Quinn didn't know is Joseph was very anti-Quinn in the house. He would never say he'd never vote for Quinn to win. Quinn was playing one of the worst games in the house. Now Joseph's out of the house. We all know his reads were incredibly inaccurate, like on multiple things.
Some of the stuff he said in his exit interviews was astonishing, and it's
like it was just like boldly wrong. But he's since come out and said like, "Hey, apparently I don't know anything."
He's like, "Ignore my hubris."
Ignore my hubris, he says.
His favorite word.
Yeah, but so I do think that Quinn, while this was not a successful HOH for men, that his target didn't go out. this was actually the best for his best thing to happen this week for his game.
I just worry about how he's able to regroup in his own mind about where he sits in the house. I do agree with you that it's like if he can see, because if he had Chelsea's view of the house.
Yes.
And I know even sometimes Chelsea isn't perfect in how she views herself, but I feel like if he had that view, he would understand that was really good for his game. And the reason I say this because like he is still like battling the emotions over sending Joseph home. Like the face he made when Joseph was voted out, heartbreaking.
It was
heartbreaking.
But was it more heartbreaking than MJ's vote?
Oh my we were in the bar. Well, we can start talking about this. Yeah. So we were at the bar, and we're watching this at the live party, and Sammy's with us, who was supposed to join us today, but had a beautiful little nephew.
Congrats,
born,
Uncle
so
Sammy!
Excited for him. But yeah, so we were all standing there together, and MJ's first person to walk in, and the bar got really quiet as we waited for her to say her vote, and we all kind of were like, "Wait, what? What's going on?"
I'm going to pause you right there.
Oh, totally.
Backstory, in case you weren't really, no one. Not even Taryn, who was glued to the feeds up to the second they went to animals before the episode. No one saw this coming. There was absolutely not even like a current rumor of Joseph going. It happened the day before. There were some like discussions about it, but it wasn't going to happen. The votes weren't there. This wasn't going to happen. So whatever happened from when the feeds cut to the actual votes, we're dying to see tonight because no one in the BB spoiler account universe has any idea how this happened.
No, and we haven't gotten a lot of indication after the fact. Anyways, like we were just talking, like this episode will be coming out Monday morning or Monday at some point, and I can probably get it up at the airport. But anyways, but like we don't have any information still about how that vote panned out. Like why MJ and Chelsea ended up voting the way they did. I have inklings as to why, but I'm not going to just speculate because there's so many reasons so many ways that it could have happened, so many reasons that it could have happened. I'm curious to know like what that group conversation in that bedroom was, because MJ and Chelsea came out looking solemn. I'm wondering if was their decision made before then and they just walked into that room being like, yeah, sorry, Chemo's going, because Angela literally looked at the camera and was like, I don't have the votes to save you, Chemo. I have to vote you out. And I need to know
all
that.
Of those dramatics just for her to be on the wrong side of the vote is just like, love it.
Her face didn't seem too mad though that she was on the wrong side of the vote at the end. She looked almost relieved.
Yeah, but like, still, like that was a big, no, it's so like we had no idea. The bar was like the air was stiff in there. Everybody was like just glued. Now, keep in mind, I just want to set the scene for you guys a little bit. This bar was not completely closed to the Big Brother watchers. So there were some footballers in there and some poker players that were there with some other TVs, like watching the game. Even they were like, what is happening? Because
it was lose our mind.
Yeah, everyone was losing their mind after the AI arena.
Oh, so yeah, after Rubina won. Yeah. That was, we were all loose because when Rubina got super, super close and just missed, and that was like one of the biggest like screams because we all went, no! Mm-hmm. And I remember there was a couple people that walked up to us, a couple different people, and we're like, what are you watching? What is this? Yeah. It's like, this is Big Brother. It's our sport.
Yeah. Like, it was fun. But yeah, so then like Rubina gets the thing untangled. This is the comp that malfunctioned for Michael in his season and during the double, and he was eliminated that night. It was wrong. But to see it revised and have this like moment, you know, yes. And we all had predictions beforehand. We were like, who are we rooting for? Like I was rooting for Rubina. Because I knew that was the only potential for a shakeup for maybe Joseph to go home.
Yes.
And I feel like by this point we had all had quite a bit of POVs and HOHs in us, which is the cocktails that the bar was serving us. So like it was a lot of fun. Rubina wins AI Arena. The house, like they announced that the house erupts. It was all really exciting. I will like to point out. So obviously was under many influences that night, so I did not catch all of these details, but we did go back and rewatch the episode and then listen to a few podcasts to see like what they picked up that we didn't. Taryn actually pointed out that there was a look exchanged between MJ and Chelsea. He couldn't tell at the time who MJ was looking at, but then later, because of a pan shot, he could figure out that look that she was like, so there was something silently communicated between the two of them. And it was for some reason very upsetting. Now, as two people that cover the live feeds as much as we do, when I tell you how shocked I was at the level of emotion
I know
for Joseph, because I just didn't see it. Like, he's not anybody's real bestie, you know?
I'm curious to see how that's going to play out on the episode, too. Because I'll bet you they'll explain why they were so emotional. I feel like it's got to be more than just Joseph's leaving. Like, I wonder if it's because of fear of... Because we'll talk more spoilers in a second. I won't get into who's won HOH yet. But, like, after HOH was won, there were lots of conversations that weren't always the friendliest. They weren't mean by any, but like there was some conflict and tension between allies after that vote. And it wasn't actually directly saying like, why did you vote for Joseph? Why did you do this? It's about decision making moving forward. And so I'm just really curious to know because we obviously know that something happened. I'm just curious to know what those dynamics were and like what the tears were about.
That's I don't know. It was a lot. And then but I do know that Brooklyn did tell us like everyone has like their besties in the house, but they are, and we could tell this on the feeds. Yeah. Everyone is genuinely close. Everyone in this house genuinely cares about each other. There really isn't any severe animosity in the house.
Nope.
We have had drama. But here's the thing that I've noticed: we've had drama throughout this season. But it's all game related.
And that's what I love about it. And I think
like even the Angela and Matt blow up. Yes. She was upset about how he spoke to her and did, his like passive aggressive threats to her about the Nom situation.
Yep. Low budget movie too.
Yeah. So even those blow ups, they like were rooted in game related stuff. It wasn't like personal.
What I love that, because we don't need
I don't like the way you walked through the house in a dress kind of drama.
Now there are some, and this is about all I'll say about what happened on Big Brother Twitter. There are people who are trying to create more drama.
Yeah.
There's probably things that have happened that we didn't see on the feeds. We cannot speak on those things because we didn't see them. And there are people who just continue to do that. And that's just not the healthy way to go about things.
Right.
So I think it's been like what I've really enjoyed that came out of that though is there's a lot of people who are feeling that way, the way we're feeling, where it's like, at what point do we stop blaming the people in the house for the problem and we blame, or maybe not blame, let me rephrase that, but why are we going to criticize the people in the house for what we can't know and what we don't see versus production?
Right.
We've been open about it all season long that we do not like how the feeds are being handled this season with certain conflicts. But that's the way it's going to be. And that's all I wanted to touch on that. Cause I know people are probably interested in our thoughts. And I had to step away from BB Twitter for a little bit yesterday.
It was
brutal.
It's been brutal for this weekend in general. But like, as far as the episode goes, so we get to the votes. We had this very dramatic vote, but very close vote at that. Cause Joseph was only evicted in 4-3 votes.
Yep.
So
the closest we had in a long time.
Yeah, it was a very, very, very close vote. And he just seemed kind of like flabbergasted, as were we all.
I mean, it's one of the first times I've been blindsided in a long
Taryn said that. Taryn said for him to be blindsided. And then going into this week, we did find out that AI Arena's gone. Not that like we wanted it to continue, but I mirror Taryn's sentiments in that, no, it's not like we found ourselves thinking through it like, oh, well, what if so-and-so wins the AI Arena? Oh, it's not that we want it to but it's interesting how it makes us think that way.
I agree.
And going into this week, I feel like it's not that it's a boring week. It's just very different. It's very different. I'm very anti-twist.
Are you going to say finally what I think you're going to say?
I'm
After
very-
7 weeks, are we finally getting it?
I'm very anti-twist, but I didn't hate this one.
Okay. That's all. I'll take it.
I didn't hate it.
I enjoyed it very much, but I know why you have your reservations, and I wholeheartedly agree with them.
I think it went on a little too long.
I think it was not supposed to go that long, personally.
Yeah,
I think they were surprised at how much we enjoyed it, and they were like, oh, let's keep it till jury.
Yeah,
they knew they couldn't keep it past jury, but they were like, ooh, we can extend this? So I think that was... We have dogs here today.
Yeah.
I get to play with the doggos!
Vader and Solo are making cameos.
They're such sweeties. But yeah, that was... I'm curious to know now. Here's my thing. Do you think they're going to try and bring it back in a different way because it was so successful? My concern is it's not going to be as successful with every cast.
It wouldn't be Big Brother if they didn't beat something into the ground.
Yeah.
If they didn't take something we love and beat it into the ground. And Solo is about to unplug our mic, guys.
Hold on.
Oh.
That was fun.
I'm really glad that was all caught live.
I'm also glad that... Oh, let's get us reset up. Re-angled.
Oh, my Lanta.
Here, let me get the camera re-angled.
Solo, you are so grounded. Go.
Your damn tail.
No, go.
That's about where we were at. Ooh, hold on.
No, you guys stay away. Can someone let us know in the comments if you can hear us okay? If audio is back to being okay?
Sorry about that. Dogs. Oh, now I'm like obsessed with getting the camera angle back. I think that's good.
No, you're not allowed to walk through there anymore.
Then let's get this re-angled.
Don't know if you guys can hear us. We'll give it a minute. Somebody let us know in the comments.
If you are here, we would really appreciate it. Just
oh,
so
there's
we can
people
know.
here.
Go over here. Come on. Stay over here. No. You are not going that way. Solo, no. He's going to do it again.
I don't know why he hates me. That's a good place for you.
Stay.
Okay, well. I'm going to go over here and unmute my computer.
I can ask Danny to jump in.
Yep, they can hear us.
Great. Wonderful.
All right, so.
Sorry about that.
Apologize.
Doggo technical issues that I don't know how I accidentally...
I saw his foot and I was like, this is about to happen. I don't know how to stop it.
I'm glad I at least prefaced it for the podcast. So like when we jump back in, we'll be like, but anyways, what we were discussing, beating the AI arena twist into the ground. which
they will do. They will find it. It won't be the AI arena because we're not gonna have an AI theme, but they'll find a way to make us hate it.
Yeah, there's whatever next year's twist is, I wouldn't even be surprised if they angled the twist in a way where they can have the arena come back. Because a lot of times they'll just be like, here's the twist we want to play with, and here's how we can go with it. But I wouldn't be surprised if this go around, when I say when, it should be an if AI Arena comes back in a different form, it's going to be interesting to see how I would assume they're probably going to form a theme around that, because how else are you going to have 3 nominees on the block? It's not that you can't, it's just they need an excuse for it. So curious to know what they'll do with that. I don't know if you have any guesses, but
no, they're just going to find a way to make us hate it.
Yep.
But I like it for now. I'm glad it's over though.
Yeah. I did enjoy it. I did enjoy having Thursdays be like must-watch episodes again.
Yeah.
Because in all honesty, it did what it needed to do for me, because I was barely watching Thursday episodes. Like lately, like I would tune in, but I would be doing a bunch of other stuff. I'd know how the votes were going, and having that sense of interest, like it's almost like a double every single week.
Mm-hmm.
It was definitely thrilling to be able to do that. So I'm excited to see where it goes moving forward, but fear that it won't even work as well as it did this time around. Because I also think that sometimes it's dependent on cast. And I think this cast was really, really good for it. It was very diverse.
I'm so sorry. I'm sure the mic is not picking that up, though. This is a nightmare. Hold on. I'm going to mute our mic for just a second. Dear God. Okay. They probably couldn't hear any of that, but the fact that we could, it was just...
We were both looking at each other like
I'm gonna...
It is what it is.
I have great kids.
Oh my God. Her kids are so wonderful. I love your kids.
Until I need them to be great.
Boys will be boys. Boys will be boys.
Anyway.
They take the dogs with them. That'll be
my gosh.
Even better. I love the dogs too. It's just chaos.
Chaos at all times. So anyway, we were talking about leading into the vote. I think we are ready to go into spoilers though.
Yes, I think we can go into spoilers at this point.
Because there are so much to talk about with spoilers, what's going to happen on the feeds, and some interesting, some fun things.
Some not so fun things.
Some spicy things. But we've had some things happen.
So we'll start with HOH, which was Chelsea. And drama number 1 was, not only was it a tie at the end, apparently between MJ, Cam, and Chelsea, MJ and Cam apparently went sky high on whatever they were doing the under-over numbers on. Mm-hmm. And Chelsea went way low. And Chelsea was
trying to throw it.
Exactly. Yeah. And so now Chelsea is unintentionally HOH. And I think this is the second time it's happened for Chelsea, where she was like, I didn't mean to win this. I don't want this power this week. So nominations have come out, and they are Chemo and Angela, with Chemo being the main target. The goal, early on at least, being to break up what is known in the house as the trio, even though there's a couple different trios, but this is like known as the trio, which is T-Core, Chemo, and Rubina. So that's their main goal on Chelsea's side of the house this week, is to get one of those targets out, meaning likely Chemo.
Yes.
But Angela's always going to make things interesting, and that's not even the whole thing. It's just,
I feel like currently she's kind of fine.
Yes.
She's kind of fine. If she can keep from self-sabotaging, things should go as planned. But Angela be Angela, and Angela be Angeling.
Already today
has she been Angeling. You know, if she could just lay on the floor
And just let us spiral into her spiral.
And just if she could just lay on the floor through the week, she'd be fine. But you know, she can't do that. Almost immediately on the feeds, there was, I'd say,
Conflict?
it was pre-nom. It was a conflict, yeah, pre-nom conflict where Angela was basically being told, "You're gonna be put up," and she's like, "You said you wouldn't do that." Angela's fully in the right for this.
I absolutely agree. Totally. Chelsea shouldn't have said any of this to her if she didn't plan to put her, or if she did plan to put her up. It was a mistake.
Yeah. So I think if you have an agreement with someone, or if someone tells you, "I'm not going to put you up," and then they're telling you they're going to put you up, call them out on it. Mm-hmm. Tell them like, "Hey, you said," make them. I feel like a lot of this house, especially with all the volunteers to be a pawn and I'd rather not go up, but if you have to, like, no, fuck that. This is your game. Mm-hmm. So if you have a deal with someone, yes, checks can be bounced in the totally. Big Brother house. I'm not saying Chelsea's in the wrong for putting Angela up, nope. But Angela confronting Chelsea about it is absolutely the move here.
Probably one of her better moves, and she was pretty composed in that conversation. Yes. Like for Angela being upset, I almost like did a round of applause for her, because like I was really like, she's learning how to maneuver through this game better than she did in the first few weeks. I think that's why she's become. I'm watching her to be a potential dark horse moving forward, whether people like it or not. She's impressing me week after week. Now she's still a mess. And there are plenty of things she does that I'm like, what are you doing? That's not the move. But to see her make that and be so composed in that conversation with Chelsea. Chelsea took a lot of heat after becoming HOH. She also had not heated, but she had a bit of a conflict with Cam too. Not similar to this, but Cam was kind of not thrilled with where Chelsea's head was at, and like was kind of trying to like let her know. Like I wish I used to have the context for the conversation. Let me see if I can pull it up. But it was the first time that we really saw Cam and Chelsea butt heads a little bit over what they wanted to happen in the house.
We also got a really long Cam talk from Chelsea in the HOH room.
Yeah.
I will say I adore Chelsea. I think she has a great head for this game. She's been very entertaining to watch. But girl, you are not fooling anyone.
No.
We know. Like 98% of what she's not saying anything that's inaccurate. But we know that some of this is emotionally charged.
Yep.
Some of this is, he's giving MJ the attention that, you wish that you had gotten.
Guys, go over here.
And so we see it, and it's so relatable. But yeah, I think that if Cam wasn't so touchy-feely and close with MJ, the energies would be a lot different this week.
Yeah, we weren't necessarily anticipating going too in-depth, but like if you haven't picked up on it, because they haven't really talked about it much in the episode, if at all.
She's in a DR saying that she had a crush on Cam.
Like there's a little, and I will put asterisks around love triangle because it's not really one, but it's a triangle that has a little love flirtation into it. That Chelsea's at the pinpoint of it. So Chelsea's at the tip. MJ and Cam are the two bottom corners, and Chelsea's looking at them half the time, being like, "What the hell are you doing?" Like last night, they got alcohol, and Chelsea and Cam were just sitting on one of the very small stools in the kitchen, and MJ immediately inserted herself in between them, and we looked at each other like, that was a choice. Chelsea, I mean, Cam did move very quickly. And it's just little things like that. Like the camera immediately went to Chelsea's face. Chelsea was not a happy camper over it. She wasn't mad, but you could see on her face she was not thrilled.
She was annoyed.
Oh, very. And so I'm curious to see how that's they have to start playing that out on the episodes at some point, and I'm curious to see the DRs we're going to get.
I can't help but compare it to something that happened on Love Island this year. And my Love Island people will fill me on this. When I think it was Miguel, But when I think, Miguel came in the house and Janae said something about like making him a sandwich or something. And then he goes and does his rounds and Serena pulls him up to the like near Soul Ties to get to know him. And that is when I called her Janae. That's when Janae decides to come up into the stairs to give the sandwich. And Serena's like, girl, no, we don't need a sandwich right now. No, like she was mad about it. It blew over very quickly. We know that they're, PPG for life. But yeah, it was almost the exact same energy. Like, girl, you know what you're doing.
I'll also let you know, we have some stuff to now that since we have been live, we have some stuff to talk about that has happened on the feeds.
Awesome.
I'm excited.
Give me news live on.
Do we want to do it now or do we want to just
break it to me?
Okay.
We're all in the live
so
feeds.
We're already in live feeds.
And by the way, just current state of the house, because there's a lot of different things, a lot of fun, entertaining things, and we could kind of fill you on in the feeds. But as far as like story progression goes, Chelsea is the HOH, Angela and Chemo are the noms. It's looking like Chemo is going home. Like that is the hold on. As of right now, this is a house target-ish to break up the trio.
Right.
A lot of people have been talking about go ahead and getting Angela out because the fear keeps growing that she's just going to keep being the easy nom and she's going to take second place. That conversation has happened every day for the last 3 weeks.
Yes. Now, let's run over, before we talk about that, I would like to talk about Power Veto first.
Yeah.
Because, oh my God.
Jeez.
Okay. So Mackenzie won Power Veto in probably one of the most unconventional veto competitions we have ever had on Big Brother. This season is giving. It's giving so much. So the comp was OTEV.
We love OTEV.
We love OTEV. OTEV did not go the way OTEV ever goes.
So just in case you forgot, or maybe this is your first year with Big Brother or whatever, but OTEV is a classic comp. OTEV is veto spelled backwards. I didn't realize how many people didn't know that until this year.
Some people just, and I mean that it just goes right.
It just like never, but OTEV is veto spelled backwards. It cannot be played as an HOH comp.
Tucker.
We
love you, but
we love you.
Sure.
But the way it works is OTEV is a character. It could be like a giant beaver. It can be like an alien something.
We've had a clam.
We had my personal favorite was the rave, like
I
lizard.
Loved that
the frog.
One. That was
frog.
A great one.
Yeah. So, but there's a big like water slide, right? And I think like musical chairs, and there's like 6 seats, and they're going to give you a question or a riddle, and the answer is going to be a previously evicted house guest name. You slide down the slide, go into like swamp areas, dirt areas, all these areas, and dig up whether it's like the theme could be like OTEV's been sick before, and all these were medicines, right? These were names of medicines that were worked into like people's names, right?
One was pies. I remember 14 was pies because they had
a pig, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, I remember that.
Like a state fair and pies. And
that
stuff.
Was so fun.
So they're all kind of worked into like these, and you need to go and find the correct medicine or the correct pie or whatever it is of the evicted house guest. Go up the water slide and claim a spot before everybody else. And so whoever is left won't have a seat. The next round, one of those seats is eliminated, and there's only 5 seats to choose from, and then 4, and then you work your way down 6 rounds on a winner. Okay. Just so you know, that's the way it works. Oh, and then they're like, what did you bring me? And they're like, I brought you
something
Mackenzie juice. And they're like, Mackenzie juice. And then someone will be like, Leah Martini, and like, so if they're all drinks or whatever, but like Leah Martini and Mackenzie juice and whatever, and whoever is incorrect, or if everyone, which is the way it always happens, always happens. It's very rare someone gets them wrong.
It's I can name on my hand probably how many times somebody has come back with the wrong answer.
But yeah, it's very rare someone's wrong. So basically, it always comes down to who wasn't there in time to get a seat. Okay, except for this time. But in this particular case, the question had to do with who did not play in the first HOH.
Which was a male. a male who did not play in the first HOH.
Well, no, there's only one answer out there who didn't play because the other person is not an evicted house guest.
My brain. No,
Yeah.
you're fine.
Okay.
Sorry.
So
no,
who
you're
did
fine.
not play in, which of the evicted house guests did not play in the original HOH? Everyone is racing. The answer must be Tucker. Oh my gosh, it is Tucker. Tucker didn't do it. Everyone is going after Tucker. MJ is like, it was Cedric, right? MJ gets to the top, sits in her stuff. Angela is the last one, doesn't have a seat, but is next to Mackenzie. Mackenzie's like, I picked Cedric. And Angela's like, oh no, yeah, I think that's right. Angela thinking she has the correct answer with Tucker. So when MJ, like, even though she didn't get a seat, if that were the case, MJ, you would be eliminated. That's an incorrect answer. Angela would still be in the game. So Angela's like feeling herself and super excited in this moment. And she feels like she's still in the game. So yeah, that's what Abby, yeah, go ahead.
So when they get to the top of OTEV and they read off their answers, again, everybody except for Mackenzie has Tucker. The game ended. Because what we very rarely see is on OTEV is when someone gets an answer wrong, that person being eliminated. There's been zero precedent set. Clingy dogs. There has been this is unprecedented. 5 people were eliminated in that first round because they all answered Tucker. There was no other game to be played. There was only one person left. That was Mackenzie. Mackenzie ended up winning after a singular question. Vader wants in on this so badly. So the feeds were down for a normal OTEV amount of time. They came back. Angela was already showered. We had no one was talking about how it went because the competition had presumably been over for so long. Quinn said he apparently cut his hand open. All on one round.
One round. We went round. Now here's kind of where I'm at. I get it. I get the dramatics of everybody being out. However, I'm pissed because I think that this game is structured in a way that MJ got it right. I can see both sides because on the other end too, that's not fair to MJ. However, if she was the only one right that round, whatever, maybe production just calls for a redo, or maybe let's evaluate the question and how we worded it.
We've heard that and we're going to be really curious to hear it on Wednesday's episode, that the wording may have been not
very clear. But to have all of this set up and to have an OTEV comp, which is one of our favorite comps of all times, me personally, I'm just really disappointed that they wouldn't. I mean, the feeds are down. We're not watching it live.
Call it a practice round.
We'll never know the difference.
Just be like, whoopsies. Also, why wouldn't they? I mean, and here's a question. Maybe
or
I don't
guarantee MJ a spot into the second round.
Right.
Meaning she won this round. MJ automatically gets a seat.
They
right?
So pull that.
Yeah. So I would even be okay with that because you're not winning in a round. You're winning round by round. So if MJ's the only one with the correct answer, give her a guaranteed placement into round 3.
Yeah.
So make sure that stool right there, that is MJ's, and call it that. And then we're going to play it
into it. We know that there is bullshittery that happens when it comes to.
I would have been okay with that. I'm sure MJ would have been okay with that too, because she still won the round to advance.
She still would have won.
Exactly.
Anyways.
So I'm just saying that I don't know how this is going to play out. I don't know if we're going to have a filler episode on Wednesday.
It's going to be a huge filler episode.
I don't know, but to have a fan favorite comp like this be cut so short is just, I find it disappointing.
And I think on top of that, I also think that there's a chance that, I know he's staring straight at the camera, it's so precious. But I also think that there's a chance that they could really play out this first round so long, just drag it out with every diary room confessional that you could think of, every comment. You're gonna have someone being like, oh, I was looking between this area and I couldn't find. They're gonna play out everything that they usually do in an OTEV competition in a single round, and I am very curious to know how that's gonna look, because I don't know. I'm very interested to see. There'll be time for the love triangle to be discussed. I'm joking, but so yeah, so we came back. That was not so thrilling, but definitely an interesting, unprecedented way to come out of a veto. At that moment, veto, and for most of the last 24 hours, it did not seem like the veto would be used. If it doesn't get used, we will end our streak of coming close to setting or tying the record at least.
Yeah.
Last week we matched the second place, which was BB9 and BB14 for 7 consecutive. The number one is BB7, which had 9 consecutive vetoes used. That is included during doubles, but that's veto use. And if it is not used this week, that streak will come to an end. But if it is used this week, which there is now potential discussion about from what I am seeing from updaters, then this season will move solely into second place for most vetoes used in a row with 8. So earlier in the week, it was discussed that Quinn could be a renom option. That seems to have kind of been taken off the table at this point, but I'm not necessarily sure it's fully gone. At least these last 24 hours, it seemed like Quinn was not really going to be a renom option. From what I saw, and let me see if I can pull it back up. Oh shit, it just went away. There's discussion about whether or not Leah is going to be a renom.
Well, that's what Chelsea told Cam.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
Chelsea told Cam that if the veto is used, that Leah goes up as the renom.
So I'm curious to see how the rest of the conversations play out around that, because we'll really get more context in terms of whether she's legitimately considering that. But from what I just saw in a couple different updates, it does seem like it's at least not off the table at this point.
Yeah.
So for last 24 hours, it pretty much seemed like veto wasn't used and it was going to be pretty much a done deal. Alcohol came in last night and definitely tweaked
I love
stuff.
the tweet where I think it was Hamster Watch. It might have been Miriam. Someone said like, "Hey, future house guests."
It was Hamster Watch.
It was Hamster Watch. If they give you alcohol, they're calling you boring.
Yep.
They're saying you're boring.
The feeds need some livening.
So last night there were some spicy things happened. We had a good game of Kiss, Marry, Evict. And, you know, the house guests are still trying to make fetch happen in that.
And it's not going to happen.
And by fetch, I mean Quinn and Leah, and that's not going to happen. People are going to read into this a lot, but Leah did pick Quinn to marry. And there's just been way too much discussion on that for my liking. That game is designed to be saucy like that. So I don't know. Like I don't, whatever. But Quinn, there was definitely some flirtation. Quinn asked her later when it was just them in the fairy room if she said she wouldn't kiss him for like strategic reasons or because she really wouldn't kiss him. And she said for strategic reasons.
He also gave her a friendship pin yesterday and she was like, "Oh, I'll put it in my closet."
Yeah.
So that one, oh my God. Ugh.
It's very uncomfy for me.
I agree. And it's uncomfy in a lot of different ways. Like I wish people would stop pushing it if it's obvious that like for one thing.
Well, Quinn's pushing it.
No, I know. And that's the thing is like I'm feeling more like uncomfortable for Leah in certain times because I just feel like
I feel really bad for him too because
he
has a crush and she's flirting. She's not like saying like I just don't feel that way. But I also
feel like part of her flirtation is like she doesn't want to hurt somebody in the house who is going to potentially like she doesn't want the wrath.
And then on her side too, she's told Chemo like it's slim pickings in here. I don't have a lot of options, but it's been a minute, guys. Leah's like, it's been a minute, and you know, I'm a natural human being.
So it's been fun to watch.
Yeah. So
well, I don't know if fun's the right word. It's been interesting.
Definitely not fun for Joseph to watch.
No, I'm sure he's not thrilled on the feeds right now. He even admitted in his exit interviews, he acknowledged that both him and Quinn had crushes. I'm like, how did you feel? Like, how did you feel about that? Wish that was asked a little bit more. One of the other things that came out of Kiss, Marry, Evict was an interesting involving Quinn again. So when it came to Rubina, who was asked to pick, she said, kiss Quinn, marry Tucker, and evict Kenny. And Quinn was like, I don't want to get in trouble with Tucker. So that wasn't nearly as major as some of the other stuff, but it was just like an interesting
He was like, he's faster than me. He will catch me.
So it was just lots of little drams brought up, which I really enjoy. And I mean, Hamster Watch, quite literally, she just quote tweeted our good friend David Bloomberg, and was just like, and I will pull it up. Dave was like, wonder how pissed production is when something like this happens, meaning OTEV ending in a singular round. He was like, hard to expand one round to fill 20 minutes. And Hamster Watch replied, going into what we were just talking about, saying they then followed it up with booze delivery, and now the house is back in chaos. They know what they're doing. So, to be fair though, alcohol deliveries have not always worked like that. No. They have tried, and I think it's a valiant effort, but a lot of times it's just them maybe causing just more drama in terms of like what they're talking about outside of the game than anything. But like here, it's caused a lot of game drama, which is we love that. It's so much fun.
I want to talk. So Chelsea had a cam talk that we watched, and that was interesting and fun to watch on the feeds. She hosts her talk show to the live feeds
with her little
with her Morphe.
Was it her
it's a Morphe setting spray.
Yeah.
Is her microphone, and she talked. She gave some shout outs to Cedric, to Tucker. That was fun to watch. I just want to like point out the quote of the week for me. Like, I love it so much, is know your worth and add tax. And like, I'm just like, yep.
Obsessed.
Yep. That's going to be our new mantra. That's what we're going to say. That's what we're going to keep that alive. We're going to not sell it for merch, because that should be Chelsea's merch when she gets out of the house.
Totally.
I'm not going to profit off of something that she
Totally.
I'm not doing that.
She better capitalize on that, because that is like one of the best quotes to come out of this show in a long time. Besides like, I like biscuits and I like puzzles.
Yep.
Those are simple.
Actually, it would be really, really cool. I'm going to give a shout out to Lucas here, because he's an incredible designer and designed some merch for us. Lucas, you should absolutely design the merch for her, to put it in her DMs for her when she gets out.
She'd love that. She would absolutely love that. It's really fun. And I love that, like, I love the opportunities that they can get afforded.
Yeah. I want a spiral that says it. I want a shirt that says it. I want a bracelet.
I want a hoodie
that I could just look down at throughout the day. Like, know your worth and add tax.
See,
got it.
I want know your worth, ... And then on the back of a hoodie says ... add tax.
Yeah. So way to go. Loved that quote. It was a great moment. Another great moment we saw live on the feeds. They were playing the On the Island game.
Oh, this went fun.
And since we're live here on our podcast on YouTube, we can say this. We couldn't talk about this on TikTok Live.
Nope.
But they're playing the island game. And if you're not familiar with the island game, it's like, I'm going to an island and I'm bringing, and then you say something, but you make up a rule that no one else knows the rule. So the rule can be like, whatever you're bringing has to start with the same letter as your first name, right? And that's what the current rule was. And people ask, like, can I bring, or it could be like, the rule can be, it has to have 3 syllables. It has to be the color red. It has to be the same color, or it has to be like, say, my name is Sarah. So it would have to be something that's, I cannot think of a color that starts with that S.
I was going to say chartreuse, and that's C.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so like Rubina could bring red, red things. It has to be red because, you make up your own rules in your head. And people have to guess what the rules are. And once everyone starts like, can I bring this? Yes or no? And like stuff like that. People will figure out the rules together. Right. The current rule was like, first bring something. So Leah's like, wait, can I bring a ladder? And he said, yes. Okay. All right. Angela can bring apples, right? And they're like, yes. And so she's like, all right, I figured out. And then Cam, who's trying to figure it out, says like, you could bring queef. Feeds cut. Oh, we know. Right before that, we hear, what?
Now, have we figured out if that was Angela or MJ? I can't,
It
I
was
still
MJ.
don't know.
I saw it come out of MJ's mouth.
I saw a camera angle, and it's because Angela reacted with an immediate, she was lying on the floor as she usually does, and she had an immediate head snap where she was just like, I'm sorry?
Yeah.
Huh? So that's where, when I was texting Sarah about it, I was like,
in her defense, we all were. I'm sorry, what? I tweeted immediately, what the fuck did Cam just say? And then the feeds went to fish. Anyway, it's just fun stuff. We had some fun moments on the feeds.
Yeah, that was good. And then one of the other really important feed moments that we should probably go over is Rubina and T-Core having a conversation about the trio and how T-Core truly is being shielded by Rubina and Chemo right now. And Rubina I don't think Rubina meant to, and this is definitely where alcohol probably came in a little bit. Mm-hmm. Rubina was just bringing it up because she trusts T-Core. The full motivation behind bringing it up, I can't be sure because I'm not in Rubina's brain, but she was just bringing it up and being like, basically like, you know that we're your shields, right? And it ultimately made T-Core cry because that's not what T-Core has wanted at all.
Yeah. I mean, Rubina didn't need to say any of this or have this conversation with her.
And she felt horrible after.
But Rubina's like, listen, you guys are here. We're, let's just call a spade a spade. I understand, Chemo and I adore you and we want to work with you and we're here to support you. But we understand that we're shields for you. And T-Core's like, that's not the case at all. I don't see, you guys are my friends. You guys are my friends. And Rubina's like, but we keep going on the block and you've never touched it.
Yeah. And it's multiple times that they've gone on the block.
Yeah.
And not T-Core.
Yeah.
And T-Core's name is not
Rubina's
only
and Rubina keeps saying over and over, it's not that it's your fault. I'm not saying you're doing it intentionally. I'm not saying you had anything to do with this. It's just the way it is right now.
She was just calling it out. And I think the word that definitely just didn't settle right with T-Core was the phrase shield.
Yeah.
Because in a lot of times, in not just Big Brother, in any reality show, shields, that probably also freaked her out a little bit because shields they can be big targets.
Yes.
They can be, even if they're not immediately a target, they can quickly become a big target. So I think there was a couple things that freaked her out. First of all, she didn't want her friends to think that she was just using them for the game. But I think also it kind of freaked her out because she's like, oh, am I really that big of a potential threat? And that didn't sit well with her either. And I think it was a combo of those things that caused her to cry. Poor Rubina, when T-Core started crying, Rubina's like, I went too far. I'm really sorry. I was like, oh my heart.
Here's the thing. So Abigail is playing the clip for me. And we're like sitting on my bed. And I'm like trying to keep one eye open. Because we've been hanging out by the fire pit. We've been like drinking. 1 a.m. It was like 1, almost 2 a.m. It was early.
It was late.
And she's playing this clip for me. And I was like, who is she talking to? And she's like, T-Core. I was like, oh, I didn't. And this wasn't this was not.
Oh, no.
It was a legitimate question. I was like, oh, I didn't know because I couldn't hear any mm-hms. I didn't hear any mm-hms. So I didn't know who Rubina was talking to.
Yeah, it was like a 3.5 minute video.
With no mm-hms.
And it was after T-Core had started crying.
And she goes, well, she's crying. And I was like, oh.
Yeah. Because, yeah, it was a lot. And I feel really bad. That was just a situation. I knew Rubina didn't mean to bring it up like that. I think it was genuine that Rubina was just trying to be like, hey, friend, just so you can see where we are.
Yeah.
I love the alcohol drama, though. And it's not drunken drama like she was saying in a way where she was. I want to be super clear about this, actually. She wasn't like slurred. She wasn't like being intentionally messy. It's just when you get even a little bit of a buzz, things can absolutely just slip out in ways that you don't intend. Speaking from experience.
Speaking from experience, your girl was messy on Thursday night. So that's all I'm going to say on here.
That's all we'll say. And we love to be messy with each other. So it was definitely just a little.
I got to gabbing with Kat in Brooklyn. And
I was trying to be so political and professional, and she was like,
I was like, fuck that. I'll tell you truth. Let me tell you something right now.
It was so
Girl, I'll
fun.
name drop. It's fine.
It was so fun.
It was so fun. So fun.
And ultimately, when we did get into the nitty gritty, we were all on the same page.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was fun. So let's talk about what's coming up. So we're in the way this episode's going to drop, and where
it'll be immediate because it's live on YouTube.
Oh, that's right. Well, when it drops on
Spotify
and Apple, that will be tomorrow morning. So the episode from tonight will have already aired.
Yep.
So we're in a little bit of like a little weird limbo. So technically, since we're recording Sunday, there is a Sunday episode. We will find out a lot of what happened during that live eviction. I'm so excited for that. We're going to see how that HOH turned into the debacle it was. I'm excited to see that. Those will be the main things that I'm expecting on that episode. Veto meeting is coming up tomorrow on the live feed. So we will find out if the veto is used for an 8th straight time. That would, again, set a record. Not a record, but it would push this season into 2nd place behind season 7, which was 16 years ago. And then we will have the Wednesday episode where we'll see all of the POV drama. Lots of filler content, I'm sure, and I'll be curious to see if we get Kiss, Marry, Evict on there. We'll see what Quinn and Leah drama they decide to put up. That'll be fun. And then we'll have the eviction. Reminder that there is no more AI arena, so we lose that element. Yeah. I'm not thrilled, but I'm also excited because I'm excited to see us go back to it. I just loved the drums that came out of it. At this moment, even though there is discussion about Leah possibly going up and being a renom, it really does at this moment still look like Chemo is going out.
Yeah.
We said that last week though, and everything changed. So we will have to see how that goes. But at this point in time, no offense to you, Sarah, but it does look like you may be taking an L for the first time in a couple weeks on your winner's draft.
I have plenty to spare, unlike you.
Yeah, Sarah has 6 people left. She's only had 2 people out. I am down to just 3. If you remember our winner's draft, I only have Chelsea, Leah.
That was very cunty of me. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
I mean, I'm not sorry, but I'm sorry.
I took that. I
was like, that's a very
with 0 person. No. The only 2 people Sarah has lost in her draft was literally week 1 with Matt and Brooklyn. That is all she has lost. If the noms do stay the same, though, she will automatically lose someone because she has both Chemo and Angela. Mm-hmm. Now, if Leah goes up, I am in deep shit. I am in deep shit. And my only hope, but to be fair, I have good hope in these 2 fine young ladies, Chelsea and Mackenzie. I'll tell you, Mackenzie, I thought was going to be one of my earlier outs at this point. She still doesn't have great reads on the house, but I am impressed with how she has maneuvered her way into a much, much better position in the house. She was almost out the door.
And shout out to casting for giving us somebody from Texas A&M that's not a twat waffle.
That's my word.
Twat waffle?
I use that all the time.
Oh.
I love that. I say that all the time.
I say twat waffle and cunt cake. But
twat waffle's my favorite.
We never, I don't know. I don't want to say never because I don't want to forget somebody that's going to be here that's whatever. But as a Texas girly, anytime somebody says they're from Texas A&M, I'm like, God, man.
They love a Texas A&M casting.
They do love Texas A&M. And then, but yeah, MJ is very, very sweet and kind. And
she's been a joy to watch, even though, again, her reads on the house have been hilariously not accurate.
Yeah.
Actually, I will say her reads have improved, though. Similar to Angela, I feel like 2 people who have really climbed the ranks for me have been Mackenzie and Angela. They've really improved their position in the house, and I really, really like it. I wish Cam would be getting more Cam time. No pun intended. I wish we got more time with Cam because I think as we get down the season and as Cam's position continues to improve, there are going to be people who are going to be like, why should he win? What are we talking about if he's going to get that close? And it's like, gee, maybe production should have showed you a little bit more of the things even if it's silent and it's just him kind of going with the flow and melding his game after it. We are getting so few DRs from him. We are getting so little information from him on the episodes that I fear if he gets to the final 3, people are going to be like, he floated his way and he doesn't deserve it. He didn't do anything. And it's like, no, it just wasn't shown. Doesn't mean he did a ton either, but the context you needed.
I'd be okay with
there.
anyone left in the house winning.
I really am too. I mean, to be fair, I think there were very few people on this season that I was ever like, no, I couldn't see you win. Like very, very few. So any other thoughts on the winner's draft before we wrap up? Because
no.
I felt like I had one more thing, but I think it's going to be really interesting to see how the house dynamics move forward, especially if the trio does get somebody picked off, because I think that's actually just going to cause more chaos in the house, and I think that means that allegiances are going to realign to some degree. Yeah. Not that it's going to completely change the house dynamic, but I think that should Chemo go, I really think that there's going to be a push to try and figure out what to do next with. I mean, I don't even really know what they would want to do next with T-Core. I mean, Rubina, we know. Rubina is at this point on that side of the house expendable to them.
Well, Chelsea made the quote this week, and it was when she's talking about this through with MJ. She's like, you know what? We could keep Chemo, and he would work with us, and he'd be a number for us. However, we could get rid of Chemo, and T-Core would need us.
Exactly.
And I think that's where their head's at.
I think it's, at least at this point in the game, smart. They can't operate that way the entire rest of the game, because T-Core has proven to win competitions, to make bold moves, and I mean, what I love about this is there's no predicting really how this can go forward. A lot of seasons that we've covered in the past, we could almost predict weeks out sometimes. It's like, well, if this group gets HOH, then it's almost certain this individual will be going. And if they win again, this person, or if the other side of the house, it's been very cut and dry. This season has given us so much. I am so happy that we have gotten such an incredible season, because being honest, the last few seasons, I was just wondering what was going to happen to this show. And just be like, is this what we're in for every single year? And then at that point, how long can it be sustainable? This has given me new life. It continues to give me new life. And it's exciting. I mean, when we were at the meet and greet, there was somebody, like you said, people would come up to us and be like, what's this show? And like get really interested. Yeah. And I don't know if we had watch parties in previous seasons, if that would have been the case. Yeah. Because this episode, and if it wasn't this episode, there were plenty of other episodes this season that hadn't done it would have been great.
The watch party, first of all, the watch party for the premiere was really, really, really fun.
So good.
But that was also like my best friend's first episode to ever watch the show, and I kept apologizing to her the whole drive home because it was the whole AI and the way that Ainsley. I was like, girl, I'm so sorry. This is like
it started.
Started rough.
I worried at the beginning. Yeah. Oh, we were. Stupidly,
but I'm really good. But like, started from the bottom. Now we're here, and it's been a wild ride, and I love this season.
Yeah, I said it. I think I've said it on the pod before, and I know I said it at the meet and greet. This is my personal favorite season. This is my opinion. I think the cast is the best that it's been since 12. Yeah. This is my personal favorite season since 12. I'm not saying it's the best since 12, but I'm enjoying this season just as much as I enjoyed 12, and I haven't enjoyed a season like that, because 12 was so back and forth with so many different kinds of people, different forms of power. Brenchel. I know
problematic things.
Well, there were problematic things, but it was enjoyable, at least on the episodes. Yeah. To really, the drama gave, and we really enjoyed it, and I loved everything that we got out of that. So I'm just thrilled. Fun. I'm thrilled we had this kind of casting. My guess is that adding the 2 people from Traders casting from season 1 made a major difference. Let's not change that moving forward, for the dear love of God. This is going well. Please give us more of this. But yeah, other than that, I think that's it for this episode. So if you like what you hear, don't forget to rate, subscribe, and review the podcast. We're also regularly posting on our TikTok accounts, So make sure you follow us at It's Abigail Adams, Sarah Talks Reality. That's what you've changed it to at this point, right?
Yes.
Make sure. Cool. Just want to make sure. And Wicked Unscripted. You can also follow us on Twitter. Find us under pretty much the same names. Mine's same handle. Hers is Super Sarah, but you look up her name, you'll find it. Super easy. And obviously, we're here on YouTube where we are always posting our podcasts.
Yes.
And
make sure you like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell too, so you get notifications anytime we post and anytime anything goes up. But yeah, leave us like comment, do all the things, show all the love, so that we can get this message and our algorithm can start loving us again. But we appreciate you guys so much. And it's because of you, weeks like this week where we're able to be together and do meetups and everything. It's because of you that we were able to make this happen. And it's because of you that we can actually get, these Big Brother players that we adore and love so much to actually give us the time of day.
And they want to give us the time of day. It's not even that we ask, that sometimes they're like, can I join?
Yeah,
and
yeah. And it's because of you guys. So I really appreciate it so much. I'm loving this ride that we're on, and I'm loving growing our Big Brother community. I love seeing all the new creators come out.
Oh, it's so much fun.
In doing this, that's how I met Abigail. I actually met Abigail on TikTok doing this. And now we've met Sammy, and Sammy flew in from Michigan
last minute
to the event. And, we got to hang out with Sammy. We even went to brunch with him the next day.
So much fun.
And then we've been introduced to Allie and Emily and all these new creators coming out. And I'm loving growing this like little BB family that we've got here, of all of us who love this stupid show together. And we can all just kind of geek out together. And I'm just here for it. So just thank you guys so much.
It's been fun. And I am still hoping, I cannot promise at this point just because it is a little late in the season, but I am truly hoping to get a meetup in Boston by the end of the season. I am going to be working on that as soon as I get home. And I'll post some updates on Twitter and TikTok, especially if it comes together. We already have one alum that is very interested in joining. Keep that a secret for this, but if you know, and you've seen on TikTok who it could be. So fun little surprise. Could be able to swing a couple other interesting people, maybe even some Survivor names. So we'll see. So this is what this is the fun. And it's not just having the meetups. It's just having meetups, having podcasts, having all of these different mediums where we can enjoy each other.
Yeah.
In person.
All where we can geek out over this stupid little show.
And we can be fans together and feel like, I think what I really enjoy is that we have created an environment where people feel like they are on the same level as the people who are creating, and they have just as value. And I'm not saying anything to other creators. It's just sometimes when you're really big, it's hard for people to always feel like they're on your level. I think it's just like,
it's a community. It's a family.
It's a beautiful
community.
Not a,
And so thank you guys so much.
And if you want to ask us a question, share your thoughts, or leave us a tip, email the podcast at wickedunscriptedpod, P-O-D, @gmail.com. And we are always looking for fresh and diverse voices to join the conversation. So with that, thanks for joining. We'll see you next time, and enjoy the episodes this week because they're going to be good.
Yeah.
Oh, excited.
Bye.